Hiya, Amber. I just wonder what the mood's been like on the training ground this week, given not just the exit at Chelsea last weekend of the FA Cup, but the manner of it as well, the unfortune, the width of the crossbar stopping you essentially from going through to an FA Cup final. Has it been hard to pick yourselves up this week?
We were disappointed with the result, Phil, of course. We were so close to progressing through to Wembley, but the mood overall has been really positive because the performance was so good. So, look, Chelsea were a top side and we went toe-to-toe with them, particularly in the first half, and I think they found it really difficult to break us down. So we have to take the positives from the game and put those positives into the remaining 4 league games that we've got left.
Yeah, it really was a brilliant performance, and you could say that Liverpool deserved to win it. I think you could argue on the day. Can you take that and actually sort of say to your players and say to your team, look, we can mix it with the very best in this league and use that as inspiration going forward?
Yeah, 100%. And it's not the first time that we've shown against top opposition that we can perform and that we can compete. So yeah, we have to take huge positives from that game and, like I said, put them into the remaining 4. This is just a start for us. It's going to take a little bit of time to build our style of play, but I think we've made a really good start and you can see the direction that we're trying to go in.
It's Brihton next, of course, not in the best of form after a decent WSL season for the most part, and a chance for you to leapfrog them.
Yeah, obviously just sitting above us in the table right now, and we hope to turn that on Saturday. That's got to be the aim for us. It'll be a tough test for sure. Brihton, I know the recent form has not been what they've wanted, but are a good side, well organised, well drilled. We'll have to be at our best on Saturday to get the result that we want.
Of course, 5th place is the battle between you two and maybe 1 or 2 others as well. I just wonder if you can leapfrog them, if you can finish in 5th place. Would you see that as a successful season for Liverpool?
I think yes. I think considering where we were when I first took over. So yeah, I think we want to finish the season as strongly as possible now, Phil, and we want to take as many points as we possibly can from these remaining 4.
And you've got your own motivations, of course, to finish as high as you can. And with so many players playing potentially for spots with their Euros squads, is there sort of extra motivation for them to really kick on for the rest of the season?
Yeah, there's definitely that to consider as well. I think for us, it's week on week. We want to improve. We want to be better. And we use every day as an opportunity to do that. And the game at the end of the week is a measure of where we're at. So come the Chelsea game, last game of the season, I want to see improvement from that last performance against Chelsea in the FA Cup, which was pretty good, but we want to be better all the time.
And I think you're hoping to potentially have Kerry Holland back for the weekend. How close do you think she is, and when will you know?
Yeah, Kerry's been back in part training this week, so we just need to see how she reacts over from today's session and then tomorrow as well. But she's been looking good.
Any other injury news?
Julia came out of training in the early part of training today, so we just need to assess her and see where she's at.
Okay. What kind of injury was it?
I'm not too sure, Phil, because I was in the session, so I need to go in and see the medical team and see where she's at. It wasn't anything too serious, but obviously it was enough to bring her out of the session.
Sure. Okay. Thanks. That's all from me.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil. We'll go around the room and we'll start with Dan Pendlin, WSL full-time. Dan?
Hi, Amber. Hope you're well. Obviously, Brihton have been really strong in Crawley, and obviously this weekend they're playing at the Amex Stadium. So I just wonder, kind of them changing their home surroundings. Do you kind of think that might be a benefit to you in the game?
Possibly, but I think when we switch to the to games at Anfield, we really enjoy those occasions. So might possibly be the same for Brihton. It's difficult to comment for them, Dan. So yeah, I can only speak from our experience. When we play at Anfield, it's something that we really enjoy, and we want more opportunities playing at Anfield going forward.
I just want to ask about Olivia Smith because, she's a real star. It looks like she's going to be a real top player in this league if she isn't already. But, in terms of the player that you signed back at the start of the season, what do you feel are kind of the most improvements you've seen in her game?
I think defensively is the biggest one. She's been excellent in that respect. Everyone talks about what she does with the ball going forward and the goals and what she creates in the final third. But for me, she has been so good defensively for us and has been a huge part of the way that we've played, certainly under my charge. So I would say that has been a huge improvement in her game. And like I always say, there's still so much more to come from her.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Amber. Best of luck for the weekend. Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Dan. And we'll move on to Emily Saleh from BBC Sport. Emily?
Thanks. Hi, Amber. Good to see you. You've talked about it already, about taking confidence from those results against Arsenal and United and the performances against Chelsea. What do you think is the next step for this Liverpool team to get those results consistently and to start kind of break into that top four?
I think it's about doing the things that we've done really well. So, for example, off the ball, I think we've been really well organised and difficult to break down. For the large part of the game against Chelsea, for example. But it's about doing that more consistently and across the 90 minutes. So, first half, I was super pleased with the organisation and the defensive detail, but then we didn't quite have that enough in periods in the second half. So it's about doing the things that we're doing well, but doing it more frequently in game and being more difficult to beat.
And then I just wanted to ask about Marie, because we saw how good she was in that game against Chelsea, especially with her assist for Olivia's goal. What have you made of her since becoming the interim manager, and can you give us an insight into what she's like as a person?
Marie's been fantastic, and I think similar to Olivia, actually, since I've taken charge, we've seen a real shift in her defensive output. I think she's been really good in that respect, whether she's played in the 10 or a little bit deeper in the 8 when we go with two pivots. So diligent with her defensive duties, and with the ball, so creative, wants to play key passes forwards, and you saw the pass for Olivia's goal on Saturday. It was so good. So we want to make her more consistent, I think, with and without the ball, and she's not far off being world class. She's a great leader too, really important person in our dressing room, and someone that's really well respected and well loved amongst the group.
Thank you. Good luck for Saturday.
Thank you. Hi, Amber. I just wondered, you mentioned about finishing fifth and this game being, clearly a very important one in that run-in. How much sort of tension is there between you trying to achieve that short-term goal and finish this season as well as you can, versus trying to almost have one eye on setting something up a little longer term and showing changes that you can bring that might not happen immediately?
It's about that continual improvement. So, like I said before, it's about every day in training. When you come into this building, you come in and you want to be better. So I think if you do that, that change comes over a period of time. So whether we're talking about, in 4 weeks when we finish the season, or this time next year, it's about those gradual improvements and improving consistently. And I think that's going to be the measure, I suppose, over a longer period of time.
And you said by come Chelsea at the end of the season, you'd like to see another jump from last time playing them. Do you? How much is there within this squad still? Do you think that is untapped that you can reach with the players you've got there?
We've shown in moments what we can do with and without the ball, but we can be more consistent in that respect. So it's about driving the standard in training every single day. And I think if we become more consistent out on the grass every day, it gives you a much better chance of doing it and doing it consistently on a weekend. So yeah, it's about every detail, every single day, and all of us pushing together in the right direction.
Thank you.
Amber, you spoke of the fan support at the semi-final at the weekend. How important is it for the fans to rally around the team, especially with this final stretch of the season?
It's huge. I thought the fans were incredible on Saturday. We heard them in full voice, you know, all the way through the game, and look, it was tough for us. It was really tough, and they make a huge difference. So we need them in full voice every single week. Their support means absolutely everything to us.
Great. And then with the final stretch of the season, obviously trying to get that 5th place over Brihton, and then also very close to Everton and West Ham on the table, how important is it to keep the squad morale high going into those games?
Yeah, I hear your point about the morale and keeping it high, but I don't have to work too hard in that respect because we've got a driven group of players here who want to come in and be better every single day. So it's about maintaining that standard and putting absolutely everything into these last 4. And come the last day of the season, if we do that, we'll be where we want to be.